Welcome to today's video. This video explores why we experience nosebleeds, one of those sudden, mysterious moments when your nose starts bleeding without warning. Maybe it happened during dry winter air, after blowing your nose, or even while you were sitting still. It can be a little scary, that warm trickle down your face, and your first thought is usually, "What just happened?" Don't worry. Today, we're exploring the fascinating science behind why nosebleeds occur, what's really happening inside your nose, and how your body works to protect itself. The moment it starts, imagine this. You're watching TV, and suddenly you feel something wet on your skin. You touch your nose, and there's blood. Your heart skips a beat. It looks dramatic, but in most cases, it's harmless. The truth is, your nose is one of the most sensitive and well-connected parts of your body. It's full of tiny blood vessels that sit just under the surface, especially in the front part of the nasal cavity, an area known as Kieselbach's plexus or Little's area. These tiny vessels are what make your nose so efficient at warming and humidifying the air you breathe. But that same sensitivity is also what makes it so easy to bleed. What causes a nosebleed? When one of those fragile vessels bursts, you get what doctors call an epistaxis, the scientific name for a nosebleed. Most nosebleeds happen for simple, everyday reasons. Dry air. When the air is cold or dry, it dries out the inside of your nose, making the vessels more likely to crack. Picking or blowing your nose, even gentle rubbing can damage delicate capillaries. Allergies or colds. Frequent sneezing or congestion increases pressure in your nasal passages. Temperature changes. Rapidly transitioning from warm to cold air can cause vessels to constrict and expand too quickly, leading to tiny breaks. Injury or irritation. A bump, scratch, or even chemical exposure can trigger bleeding. Your nose is like a delicate climate control system, constantly adjusting to moisture, temperature, and airflow. When those conditions change suddenly, your vessels sometimes can't keep up. The hidden design of your nose? Here's a fascinating detail. Your nose isn't just two holes. It's a complex air filtration system, complete with mucous membranes and an intricate network of blood vessels that warm incoming air before it reaches your lungs. That means your nose is constantly exposed to the outside environment, dust, bacteria, dry air, and temperature shifts. It's your first line of defense. But that also means it takes the most damage. So, when a vessel breaks, your body immediately jumps into action. Platelets rush to the area, clotting the blood and sealing the tiny tear. That's why most nosebleeds stop within a few minutes. Your body is repairing itself in real time. Why they happen more in winter? You've probably noticed that nosebleeds are more common in winter. That's because indoor heating dries out the air, reducing humidity. Dry air pulls moisture from your nasal membranes, making them thinner and more susceptible to damage. Add a few sneezes or nose-blowing sessions from a cold, and pop. One of those small vessels gives way. A humidifier, saline spray, or even drinking more water can make a surprising difference. Keeping your nasal passages moist helps maintain the tiny protective barrier that prevents bleeding. Additionally, incorporating simple daily habits can help reduce the risk of nosebleeds. Try to avoid picking your nose and be gentle when blowing it. Using soft tissue can help minimize irritation to the sensitive skin inside your nose when a nosebleed isn't so harmless. While most nosebleeds are minor, there are a few times to pay closer attention. If your nose bleeds frequently or heavily, it could be a sign of. If a nosebleed lasts more than 20 minutes, causes dizziness, or occurs after an injury, it's wise to seek medical help. High blood pressure, blood-thinning medication effects, chronic sinus issues, or a deeper vessel injury further back in the nasal cavity called a posterior nosebleed. Posterior nosebleeds are less common, but more serious. They usually need medical attention because the bleeding occurs deeper in the nasal passages and can't be seen or easily stopped from the front. A closer look. The science of capillaries. Those delicate nose vessels are part of an incredible biological system. Each capillary is about 1/10 the width of a human hair and is designed for oxygen exchange. They're thin because they need to let oxygen and nutrients pass easily, but that also makes them fragile. Imagine a tiny water hose running at full pressure. Even the slightest crack will cause it to leak. That's what happens when the capillary wall weakens due to dryness or pressure. So, while it may seem random, every nosebleed is actually a moment of biology in action. Your body's intricate systems reacting to tiny imbalances. Why nosebleeds don't happen everywhere. Interestingly, the nose is one of the few parts of the body where blood vessels are this close to the surface. That's why we don't randomly bleed from other parts, such as our elbows or cheeks. Your nasal lining evolved this way because your nose's main job is conditioning the air you breathe, heating, filtering, and moisturizing it, all of which require a dense blood supply right at the surface. It's a trade-off, great for breathing, but sometimes messy for nosebleeds. The beauty in the biology, so the next time your nose bleeds, don't panic. It's not your body malfunctioning, it's your body doing exactly what it was built to do. Repair, protect, and adapt. It's another reminder of how finely tuned we are as human beings. Even something as small as a nosebleed reveals the fragile balance between our body and the environment around us. Stay curious, because even the most minor mysteries can reveal the biggest wonders. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more fascinating science facts, hit like and subscribe for the full playlist. The link is provided in the description.